And now, from AAA to indie, MidWinter presents Scavengers.
Hello! Hey! Yeah! All right, we getting excited? We're gonna talk about some Scavengers in MidWinter. Hi everybody, how you doing? Good. E3 being awesome? Nice. Well, I am the host for today. I'm Carl Sardella. I run social media over at MidWinter Entertainment, that thing. I have with me the three of the co-founders of the company. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and say what games you worked on in the past and what you do at MidWinter?
All right. Hi, I'm Josh. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm the CEO and co-founder of MidWinter Entertainment. And in the past, I've worked on a bunch of games. Most recently, I was on Halo for Halo 4, Halo 5. I was creative director on 4, studio head for 5. Before that, I worked on some games with this guy. We worked together for about 12 years, did NBA Street, Def Jam, awesome. And the worst...
Yes. Woo!
And also the worst Turok game.
Maybe not woo? Fitta.
Yes, I'm the CTO of MidWinter, which means that I code a lot of stuff. And so I've been making games since the 90s. I grew up in Sweden. In Sweden, there's not a lot of things to do in the winter. So basically, all we do is just code, sit in a box indoors.
Yeah.
Yes, I made a lot of good games. I made a lot of bad games. World's Scariest Police Chases, PlayStation 1, snowmobile racing games. But then also...
Don't downplay that. He made Snowcross. If you guys remember that PS1, it is a good game.
Nobody remembers.
Oh, really? Guys, just go with me on it. It's awesome.
It's fantastic. No,
yeah.
And then transitioned into AAA space with Halo 4 and Halo 5. So that's my backstory.
Daryl.
Hi, I'm Daryl. I head up the art and UX. I'm also one of the co-founders at MidWinter. Worked at EA for a number of years. Worked closely with Josh. We did, like he's mentioned, we did NBA Street, Def Jam Vendetta, Fight for New York. After that, we co-founded a studio together, and like he said, made the worst Turok game. And then after that, I was at Visceral for a brief stint, and actually, prior to co-founding MidWinter, I was at Zynga for a number of years, creative director on the Farmville franchise. So,
cool. Yeah, varied backgrounds, and we're all excited to be a team. And before we get started, speaking of the team, I thought we'd actually look at the studio. So I put together a little video about our office culture and how we do things. So let's take a look at that.
Tucked away in a nondescript building in Kirkland, Washington, we're hard at work on something we are really excited about. We've worked on games that many of you have played and loved, AAA titles supported by AAA studios. But this is something new. This is MidWinter, our home away from home. Being independent means you have to wear a lot of hats, and everybody here wears more than one. Switching hats throughout the day is common, the goal being making a great game. Sometimes it's a balancing act. Sometimes the hats actually become part of the process. Sometimes we have a hat mishap, which happens. And sometimes we find hats we didn't even know we had. We wear them all because it's just part of the process. Each day we create and iterate on new ideas. And when we find the magic, we run with it. And even though it's a bit of a juggling act, we're always having fun, and we love what we do.
It is beer o'clock.
Beer.
Beer.
Is this a line for beer?
Yes.
O, zajebiście. Jakby Denis nam takie coś zasponsorował, a nie kurde, ham nie chce płacić. O, tam obezik był włączony.
So that's a little bit of our family atmosphere. It is kind of a family.
Yeah.
Did you say?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we strove to create when we set out and set up the studio.
Yeah, I got a little teary-eyed. I'm sorry. So let's talk about that. The difference between, this whole discussion is about the difference between AAA and going to this indie, smaller team like this. What have been the challenges that you've seen, probably, in that kind of transition?
Where to start? Yeah, I mean, it's a big difference, right? Like when you're working in AAA, the teams are massive, and there's a lot of kind of organizational apparatus that needs to be in place to keep things moving, because you've got like literally hundreds of people trying to accomplish this grandiose vision and this massive game, which is oftentimes, you know, AAA games are actually multiple games in one giant package. Like we would often refer to a Halo title as like a theme park with a number of different rides, and each one of those rides could by itself be a game unto itself. And so, you know, organizing that takes a lot of work, and it can be difficult to get everybody on the same page, working in the same direction together. What's great about being indie and being small is that, like, you know, we don't have this feeling of hundreds of people bumping into each other, having to negotiate changes between different groups and plan through producers. Like, you know, when we want to make changes in the game, we talk about what would be awesome today. We put it in the game.
Just do it.
Test it, we play it, and we go, yeah, that was great, or no, it sucked, and you know, we're just able to constantly change and iterate. So that's awesome. I think one of the biggest challenges, though, is, especially coming from a AAA background, is kind of managing the ambition that we have. Like we're a super ambitious team, and sometimes it can be hard to kind of enforce that need to have focus, right? And to kind of rein things in. And so there are times when you can kind of go too far afield and realize, like, okay, guys, we gotta bring it back in. We gotta take it to something that we can build with the team that we have and that we know that we can make great.
Right, and in the bigger company, it's gonna make you do that automatically.
Yeah, there's kind of like, you know, forcing functions in there that are going to do that. And also, like at a larger studio, there's in some cases, not all, but there's the opportunity to kind of throw more time or resources or whatever at it, right? It's like, oh, we need to hire another 20 artists that can come in and help finish this part of the game. Like, that's just not an option when you're an indie.
That's a couple people for us.
Yeah, that's like bankruptcy, right? So like, you know, we're having to constantly manage ourselves and kind of stay focused on what are the most important things at any given time. And I think having that clarity of vision can be hard, right? Because you're in the soup, you're doing everything. Like you saw the hats video, that's, you know, obviously an analogy for what it's like. It's like you're literally doing everything. Like you're unboxing equipment and setting it up and building computers and like testing your own game and you're moving from doing UI to doing gameplay to doing whatever needs to be done any given day is what the focus needs to be.
And that is exciting too. I mean, personally speaking, like I got there and I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna QA this game too. Like I'm not just doing videos and social media and stuff like that. So, Fida, let's go to you. What are some pros and cons that you see of being in this kind of a smaller studio?
The pros, we have a big microphone to tell them what to do. What do you call that?
The megaphone?
The megaphone.
Yeah. We have one in the office. You saw it in the video.
Yeah, you saw Audrey. She's like drunk with power.
Oh, that happens. Yeah. Audrey,
time.
who's here in the audience probably somewhere, she like just uses that all the time to yell at us.
Beer o'clock is what's mostly said through it, though.
Yeah.
The best part is to be able to switch features in the game, like day to day. Like we can switch from changing weapons or even characters or parts of the map or parts of game modes in hours, instead of taking weeks to do that on a really, really large studio. And it's super satisfying as a developer to be able to have everyone around you that you know, and you can sort of iterate on things. And often it happens that I play the game and it's like, where did this feature come from? That's really cool. Or that's really shitty. So that happens all the time. So that's a big pro. The con is, especially for me as an engineer, is I have to shift focus all the time. So we're 10 engineers on the team, and we're a super ambitious team. And to switch focus, you know, from working in an AI project for a while, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and have someone else come over, hey, I need help fixing the pathfinding in a different system, or...
Fida, help me.
A to jest masakra, bo jak się siedzi w czymś, coś się programuje i trzeba szczególnie wrócić do czegoś, to rozkminianie kodu, tego co się napisało, jak się tam kłopoty zrobiły, to jest masakra.
Stick to. So I think those are both pros and cons.
Yeah.
The megaphone is the biggest pro.
It is the biggest one, yeah. Let's talk about the game itself, Scavengers, our first release. We're all very excited about it. Josh, just give us a pitch. What is this game?
Yeah, so I mean, Scavengers is our first title as a new studio. It's what we call a survival shooter co-opetition, and it blends together aspects of exploration, combat and survival into like a repeatable session-based multiplayer experience. It's team-oriented. One of the things we're really excited about at MidWinter is creating experiences that people can share, that create a sense of togetherness as people play them. And we feel like the strongest bonds and the most memorable moments that you experience in gaming come from overcoming great obstacles, working together with sometimes friends, sometimes complete strangers. And we want to create experiences that enable that. When we talk about coopetition, that's a made-up word. It's not a real word, but
it is now, though.
It is now. We're putting it in the dictionary.
It's a word.
Yeah, but it's sort of meant to represent like this intersection of cooperation and competition. In our case, for Scavengers, we have a game where all of the teams that are taking part in a session are working towards one shared combined goal, and only by working together, or only by achieving that shared goal, will they actually succeed. But at the same time, they're being individually rewarded based on their individual accomplishments. And so there's this opportunity to flow seamlessly from PvE to PvP and back again. But we're trying to build an experience where we don't enforce the need to do either. Well, you're definitely going to need to PvE, but we don't
there's
try to.
There's wolves and bears in this game, which you'll see.
There's wolves and bears.
You're going to have to PvE them.
You're going to have to fight that thing. But there's not a need to go out there and kill other players. It's not like a last man standing game where the whole object of the game is PvP. It's a completely viable victory condition for people to work together and get on the dropship and extract at the end and we did it.
Yeah.
Inevitably, there are going to be people that want to murk other people in the game, and that's a viable strategy as well. So I think it's a really interesting blend of those things, and it's been challenging to bring it all together, but it's also exciting to see it really come to life.
And to play it every day, we play it and we see all these different systems coming together, which you'll see in a minute. Daryl, let's go to you. Art director, UX, you are looking at the vision of this game. What is the most exciting things for you about the world of Scavengers?
I think one thing, great question, it's the opportunity to create a brand new world and do something a little bit more experimental. I think, when you're working on a larger team and you've got a lot at stake, large brands, something that maybe has a legacy or has multiple products that have come before it, or a large fan base that has expectations. Being able to work on something that's a completely brand new world from the ground up has been a really tremendous privilege and an opportunity. The other thing that I'm particularly excited about too is I've been working really closely with Fit over the past several weeks, trying to find the style of the game. We have no ambitions to be a 700-person giant, massive studio. We don't have the resources to create massively high production visuals, and so part of my goal is to create something that's very unique and very distinguishable in the market, something that you can look at and go like, that's Scavengers. I haven't seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
That's the role that I try and take seriously is how do we differentiate? How do we make something new, innovative, something that's never been seen before? And that's what we're trying to create.
And I think a lot of the times those are the things that are the most memorable. Not to talk good about our game, but I think that people see those styles and stuff and they love them.
Right.
And I love our style. So let's not without further ado, is that how it goes? Yeah. I don't know English. Let's look at the game right now. You want to look at it?
Yeah. Right.
Let's take a look.
O, czyżby to jakiś taki w miarę world premiere? A zobaczymy. Może gameplay czy to trailer z tamtego roku?
On your feet, my child. Today, you may take whatever you need. Do anything you must. For me. For us. Prepare yourselves. My instructions, and I will bring you home. You want to come home, don't you? Show me.
Okej, to już chyba gdzieś pokazywali w tym roku, mam wrażenie, że nie jest to nic nowego.
It's pretty cool. I still get chills seeing that trailer. Yeah, so now we're showing it off for the first time ever, gameplay here at E3. How's it been showing the game?
It's like this weird thing, right? It's like it's awesome. It's also nerve-wracking to show a game for the first time. This is the first time we've shown gameplay. We have the game playable here behind closed doors. We've been running sessions all week, and it's been amazing to see people playing it and having like all of these incredible player stories that come out of the experience, which is a validation of like what our vision was for this game. Like we wanted to create complex systems that challenge players, give them tools to interact with those systems and overcome great obstacles. And no two games really play alike, and that's intentional. But seeing people able to pick up the game, get it, even though with all of its complexity, and we got a lot of work to do to refine it and polish it before we release sometime next year. We haven't decided on an exact release date. But that feedback is so important to us. So like we're doing closed playtests right now with a small group. We're going to be growing those playtests throughout 2019. We want as many people to sign up and play the game with us as possible.
Scavengersgame.com?
Scavengersgame.com. Go sign up, join us. We're playtesting on PC. If you want to be a part of that, we'd love to hear your feedback and help us make this game awesome.
100%. And I would say that because we're doing it behind closed doors, so there's like a little booth where we're having these people play it. And I walked by and like, our booth was the one people were screaming at. Like, I mean, it was all quiet, and all of a sudden, wah! And it was our booth.
So I mean, that is really cool for a team. Like, we've been working on this game for about a year and a half now, and we have a lot of team members that are down here helping run the sessions and doing a great job guiding people through new experiences. And I think it's just really rewarding to be able to see the response of people playing. And so I'm really glad that we've been able to do that, and I just want to say thanks to Improbable for hosting us in their booth and allowing us to bring the game to E3 and have that experience.
Yeah, it's very awesome to see. All right, we have not much time left, but I thought what we would do is go through some social media questions because we have an amazing community. If you're watching right now on the stream, we love you. You're so amazing. And we talk to them every day, all of us, and sometimes you as me.
I do masquerade as you.
Just so you know. I run the Twitter, but sometimes it's this guy. And I called you out on that just now. Awesome.
Great.
Let's do some questions quick. @KingAlley51 says, how much of this game is survival? And is it based on short game sessions or longer game sessions?
I mean, so survival is a real thing in this. You have a few different mechanics that you're managing. So cold this takes place in a future where the world has been thrust into this like perpetual winterized state. You know, our moon has been shattered by an asteroid and the debris has choked out the sun. And so like staying warm is really a challenge. And we have like roaming dynamic storms and pockets of blizzards that you're having to contend with. So that's one. You have to eat, so you're hunting for food and
sometimes food. We're all playing together, we're like, wait, you're
hungry. Czyli tu będą takie actually elementy survivalu, że jedzenie i tak dalej. Nieźle.
Monstrosities and this infection they spread. So if you take too much damage from them, you start to become infected, and you have to deal with that. But the session length is designed to be somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes on average. So we're trying to condense a survival experience into that kind of somewhat bite-sized loop.
Right, but a lot of stories during it.
A lot of stories.
Question for any of you. @WeTrackGames says, you said the AI is the one sending us out, which you heard in the trailer. Why are they doing that? Why do we listen? What are we looking for? And what's out there that could possibly be worth chased by a scourge bear? Because there's an alien type bear in there. What is that answer, Josh, or anybody?
So
who is the thing that's making us?
This is an AI. So the backstory is there's a group of survivors that are placed on a station, a space station called Sanctuary, and there's an AI that they're awakened by who's known as Mother, and she sends them down to the surface of the planet to retrieve samples of the scourge DNA so that virus can be cured. she's not the best mother.
No, she seems like she's got something going on.
Yeah, she's got a little malevolent streak to her. So that's all I'll say. There's, but that's something that we want to play into, for sure, over the course of the game.
That's the answer. It's an AI mother that's making you do those things. At KHORFLIR, because I don't know how to say that, is so we have access to AI in spaceships. This one's for Darrow.
No.
Are we going to see some unique space age style weapons in the game?
Yes, definitely. We've got all sorts of. Actually, the weapons are something that are being developed. One of the artists on the team is part of our team is in Sweden, and I'm actually really proud of the weapons that are being developed there right now, and all sorts of really cool sci-fi weapons that are.
So yes, sci-fi weapons are coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we can't swear here, so. Fudge, yes, they're coming.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said fudge in my life.
Well, now you have, and you did it in front of all these people.
Thank
so
you.
that's
At Nico Terran says, will there be microtransactions? If so, what type, skins, etc.?
Yeah.
And loot boxes, question mark.
Oh, no loot boxes. Yeah, so it's...
yes.
That's an easy applause line.
Yeah.
So we are developing this game as a free-to-play title because we want the most players
To
possible.
będzie free to play?
Experience, like multiplayer
No proszę.
experiences are about shared experiences with
Nie
large
wiedziałem.
groups of players, and getting into a session quickly, super important. But we don't have any plans for loot boxes. We have, it's a character-based game, so players will have a number of characters that they'll be able to unlock for free, and then they'll have additional characters that they can unlock from there, and we'll also have cosmetics that we'll sell for those characters as well.
Okay, and that's at some point.
Fudge loot boxes.
What?
Fudge loot
Fudge
boxes.
loot boxes. If you take anything away from our talk, at Costwalker says, a lot of people are asking, is it free to play?
Yes.
It's free to play.
Yeah, there you go.
We've never officially said that, I don't think. Oh, we have. You said it somewhere.
I said it once.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No ale właśnie, jakoś tego tak na innych rzeczach tylko w ogóle nie pokazuje, że to jest free to play, a to jest free to play.
Happening, and so you can sign up and get in those. Last one was just a comment from DeMeister, who's been following us for a long time. I'm surprised the game is so cold, considering it's so lit.
Is it a question?
It was their comment. Why you? Yeah, I think that's funny. Okay, I think that's it. I want to thank the community again and everybody from here from checking out and listening to us talk about the game. It's Scavengers. Play Scavengers or scavengersgame.com. Our Twitter is play_scavengers, and we talk to all of you all the time on it. So, and sometimes it's this guy.
Sorry.
So I apologize in advance. And Darrow, thanks so much. Fida, Josh. And anybody else have any quick questions before we go? Because we have a couple of minutes. We do. We have a microphone. Go ahead.
Hello? Cool.
What's up?
So I just kind of had a question about the formation of the studio and everything and kind of how that went. You guys talked about the pros and cons, kind of like moving from AAA to indie. We saw recently with like Ninja Theory, kind of, they had that indie space where they were still able to create like the AAA title, kind of like Hellblade. Did you guys kind of draw inspiration from that, like seeing that, like you moved from like the studio head of like Halo and you were like, hey, maybe we can do that. You know, was that kind of like an inspiration you guys had?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, so I will say like Ninja Theory, awesome, and I'm really looking forward to Bleeding Edge, which was just announced. That looks amazing. So yeah, they're definitely an inspiration. You know, one of the foremost indie studios up until recently. But I think for us it was like, you know, we wanted to get to a culture and a way of building games that wouldn't be possible in kind of the structure that we were in. And for me personally, I could just say, like, I wanted to get back to actually building things and checking them into a game and touching the things that are showing up on screen, which wasn't possible for me as studio head or even as a creative director over a multi-100-person team.
Right, you're in there now, on every part of it.
Building AI with this clown. You know,
Clown?
That's okay. We love each other.
Okay. We do all love each other. We have one more question over here. I think enough time for one.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So I'm very ADHD, so you probably said it and I didn't hear you, but like what platforms will this be available
Oh,
on?
no, I don't think we did. So.
No, we didn't mention that. So our lead platform's PC. That's where we're focused right now. But we are developing the game using Unreal Engine, and obviously we have a fair amount of console experience on the team. So console is something we're definitely thinking about. And we'll have more to announce on that as we get closer to release.
Okay, before we go, because we are out of time, I want to issue a challenge, and thank you again for coming. But I know that Jablinski Games is up next, and I'm just going to issue a challenge to Jack Black, if he's here, if he can hear me. Play_Scavengers, tweet at us. We will bring you back and see if you can survive in our game, Scavengers. Right? Everybody, cheer if you want Jack Black in the game.
Yeah.
Jack, Play_Scavengers, tweet us, and we'll see if he survives. Maybe he won't even see this.
Yeah. We'll carry you, Jack.
Okay, yeah.
Nie wiem, co to jest ten Jabliński live show, ale nie chcę mi się aż tak szczerze tego oglądać. Dlatego, że to jest up next, ja tego nawet nie zaplanowałem, bo nawet nie wiem, co to jest.
In my head.